Hi guys, very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the video number 374. My name is Ajay and this channel actually is dedicated to all those who want to learn Excel, VBA, MS Access and Access VBA. Now we are on the video number 374 and in this video I'm trying to actually give an attempt to answer the query I received from one of my subscribers, Jagannath, and so this is going to be the VBA collection loop. Example will be based on the VBA collection loop, right? Excel VBA collection loop I'm talking about. So if you're new to the channel, I just want to take your 10 seconds. You can click on the playlist and here you will find the different 44 playlists dedicated to all those who want to learn Excel VBA or Access and Access VBA. You can see here, you scroll it down and you would find here different playlists, and each playlist will have around 5 to 15 videos, right? So we have the basic videos, we have the advanced level videos, everything is there. Now video which I'm talking about, this is what I have actually received from him. Hi Ajay, I have attached one Excel sheet and I have entered some data in 3 sheets and I kept column A blank because when I will enter the data, it should update the serial numbers automatically by VBA coding. Please follow the sheet 4 and VBA coding also for which has written in the sheet 4. So basically, thank you so much for your email, Jagannath. Now, before I actually take you to his work book, it is very important to understand the collection loops. Now, what you can do is you can search here for the collection loop, or you can scroll it down and you will find it out. If you there will be a series here which says Excel VBA collection loops. Now guys, don't click on this because this is on the axis, right? When you click here, you will get to see here amazing videos, right? And I can bet on that if you don't have any information about the collection loops, provided you know the introduction part of the VBA, you can start from here, the series 1 and then series 2 and series 3, right? Because in this is going to be the advanced. I'm directly going to make the code here, and this is what you have in front of you. This is the file I have received from my subscriber, and so we have the sheet, actually 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 and sheet 4. And what we are looking forward to is we would like to automate this. We would like to fill in these serial numbers automatically, right? Now before I actually take you to the VBA code, guys, I can make this very simple. There's no basically need to write the VB program for this because you can do this in one step. And this is what actually I also had written. I replied to subscriber also, but then he reverted back and he said that he wants to have the automation because of some other reasons as well. I think he's maybe going to use this logic somewhere else. I do not know that, right? But I'm going to help you out. So guys, the first thing which you can do is simply write the if function here. Okay. Now, instead of writing the if function in the sheet 1 and then sheet 2 and then sheet 3 and then sheet 4, and then perhaps you could have 50 sheets. So who is going to actually write this function every time on the sheet 50? There are a lot of sheets, for example. In that case, what you can do is you select the first sheet and then you press the shift key. When you press the shift key, you need to click on the last sheet. You want to click on the sheet 4, and in this way every sheet is going to be selected. Right now, just in case if you want to ungroup them, right click on any of the sheet and just say ungroup, right? Everything will be ungrouped. Now if you don't want to target the sheet 2, you want to target sheet 3 and sheet 4, then what you can do is don't use the shift key, then press control, then keep on clicking on these sheets, and this is how you can also skip the sheets. So this is for the random selections. So shift key, actually we use it when we want to use all the sheets between the first and the last sheet. Now what is a formula you would like to apply? Now when I have selected all the sheets, that means that whatever I will write on the A2, that will be written on every A2 of every sheet. Okay, so you will write here if function. What I will do, I will make it very simple. I will simply write that if this cell is not blank, which means that if you are not equals to blank, then what we want is we actually want the row number of A1 cell. Obviously you know that this is a row function. If you apply the row function, it will return the 1 because you're going to find out the row number of the A1, and when you drag this formula downward, A1 will change to A2, A3, A4, and automatically you will have the the proper sequence of your numbers. So if you are not blank, if you're blank, then I don't want to display anything. I just want to display the blank. That's it. Now once you have the number here, now you need to drag it. Now because I know that every sheet actually has the same data in terms of its last row number, so I will just drag it up till this row number 21. But just in case if your data is not having the same structure. In some sheets you have a data 100 rows, you have a 200 rows, then just drag this formula to the last row number which you think the maximum row number, which could be from any sheet, right? Will also do. Now this is done for me, and of course just in case for the sheets where you are going to drag the formula in the downward direction, you will get to see that here's space, you can see here. So now what you can do is just right click and ungroup the sheet, and the moment I'm going to come back, you see that all the sheets are inserted here. Any point in time, if you delete, for example, this data, your sheet numbers will be gone, right? So next time when you have the new data, automatically your sheets will be adjusted. Well, this is all about, I mean, this was the trick I wanted to give, but right now we are not going to do that. Let's quickly go to the VBA code and let us see how we can do that. So again, I have deleted entire data and I'm going to ungroup it. Now guys, what is a collection loop? Basically, I want to tell you something about it. Now, though I have already explained in my previous videos which I was sharing with you, you can go there and check out all the basic parts. Now for still, I'll give you some little knowledge about it. Now collection loops, actually we are going to talk about the for each worksheet in workbook, in worksheets, for each worksheet in worksheets. Now what happens when you run this actually loop, what happens, because worksheet actually is a part of your worksheets class, which is your the plural, you can say that this is a singular object and this is a part of this family which is a worksheet, right? So what happens, automatically your entire code is going to actually loop through all the sheets one by one. Okay, so you don't have to be dependent upon the sheet names, you don't have to be dependent upon the number of the sheets, how many number of sheets you have, because if you just type in this code which we're going to make right away, even if you have 50 sheets, all the 50 sheets will be covered. The reason is very simple, because nowhere we are going to define the sheet. We are not going to say that go to the sheet 1, sheet A, sheet B, sheet C. No, we're simply going to say that this is the code. Basically the code, it's pretty simple. It says that for each worksheet in worksheet, so let us cover each sheet one by one. So what we want to do, right? So while covering the the sheet, what we will do, we will also capture the last row of that sheet, because up to that level, up till that row number, we would like to go ahead and get the serial numbers. This is what actually we want to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and I hit on the Visual Basic and I'm gonna insert here a module, and we're going to write here sub. The name of the sub is fill numbers, for example. Now I press enter, right? Now, so the first thing which we will do, we will define here WS as worksheet, right? Because you directly can't use the class, so you will have to write WS, and then the worksheets, which is your, all the sheets. So now when you're going to run this, what will happen? All the sheets will be covered one by one. Okay. So obviously we will go to every sheet. I'm going to select this sheet. So I'll write select. So this will select the sheet one by one. Now when you're going to be on the sheet number 1, which is sheet number basically sheet 1, okay, there's a name called sheet 1, and we would like to, before we run the loop in the A2 cell, we would like to actually also see that how many times we will have to run this loop, because see that I need to run this loop only till this B21. Okay, so what I will do is I can write here do while loop. So I can write here that do while active cell value equals to not blank. This is what we need to write. So you can see here that it's a perfect example of a collection loop and a do loop, right? So loop in a loop, this is what exactly I can also say, right? Now this is what will happen. So once the upper bigger actually loop is going to loop through all the sheets. Before it goes to the sheet 2, first of all it will run this loop as well, and it's going to check that how many times it has to run. So what we will do, we will simply put the cursor on the range A2. Here we're going to put the A2. So I'm going to select the A2 here, okay, for the loop actually. And once I'm on the A2, then what I will do, this active cell becomes the A2, right? Obviously. But then I think what we will do, we will not actually write the active cell dot value, but we will write the active cell, and then is what we actually need to do is we need to go to the another cell which is on the different row. So I'm going to write on the different column, this value is not equals to blank, right? I hope you understand this. What it says, it simply says that the corresponding number which is on the B column is not actually blank, then please move this loop. Okay, because we want to capture, as long as we get the value in the B2, B3, B4, B5, the loop should run. And then what we want to do is on the active cell, which is going to be your A2, obviously we will write here that active cell value has to be equals to, we can say here that it has to be S number, serial number. Okay, I'll define it as a S number, and then you can also define that serial number on the top as long, and before you write the code, it should start with the 1. Simple as that, right? And then the serial number should be incremented by 1, for example. So this is what we need to do, and of course you need to once you declare this, you need to go to the next cell. So using the offset function, we'll go to the next, which is the, from the A2 I'm going to move actually to the A3, right? And so I think this way we can actually deal with this. So let us run this and let us see if we have some error, then we will find it out. So let us go ahead and run the F8 command. There we go, guys. Right, so I'm just running this and is selecting the first sheet, and I go to the A2 cell. The A2 cell, now you can see that I have written here that find out the corresponding element because of this 1. This is very important, right? So it is actually test, and the test, obviously you know that it is not empty. So what will happen, it will, active cell prints the serial number, which is 1. Very nice. So you got the 1 here. Now we will actually increment the serial number by 1, because now we want to go to the next serial number, provided if you have a new value in the B3. Okay, so now this will take me to the next cell, and as you can see here, I am actually on the A3 cell. So now the active cell becomes what? Active cell actually is A3, but active cell offset 01 becomes the, you know, B3. The B3, again you have a value, so that is what we want. Then in the active cell, the serial number should be 2 now, right? So guys, you keep on running this loop, and this is what you will get. Wow, this is cool. So I'm gonna run this quite fast. Here we go, and then you have 20. This is done, and now I'm going to be on the last, the blank cell actually, not on the last cell. And then obviously you know that this is going to be empty. You haven't written anything in the B cell, right? So if you haven't written anything in the B column, which is B22, obviously the loop will finish, because now condition is not going to be met. And if the condition is not going to be met, this loop will exit from this. So if I run F8, look at this, guys. Now it comes to the next part. What do you mean by the next? Now next, if you remember, this belongs to the for each worksheet in worksheets, as I was telling you. Now the time is to select the next sheet. So this ws.select will select the sheet 2, right? Once it selects the sheet 2, and again the comparison will happen with the A2, so it is going to be on the A2, and then again we will have a comparison from the beginning. The point is, look at the serial number, guys. If you do not want the previous serial number to, you know, once you are on the new sheet and you do not want the serial number to again start from 0, then this is perfect. Just keep running this code. This is a very powerful code, right? You keep on running this. This is how it will happen. See that? 40. And then go to the next sheet, and again then 41, 42. So this is pretty cool, right? Though this wasn't asked, I think, by Jagannath, but I'm just telling you what exactly is happening, because you are not, you know, taking this serial number. You're not starting the serial number from the scratch after this loop, and that is the reason the value, the previous value actually is getting used, you know. So we are incrementing the value one by one. Now here, if I just, let me show you, if I just run this 59 and the 56, now you know that next time if I run this, this active cell becomes empty, and the loop will go to the, you know, do loop will finish, and we will have a sheet 4. But if I just write here serial number again equals to 1, what will happen? Look at this now. What will happen? This time serial number again will start from 1. Okay, so serial number is now 1, and it goes to the next sheet, and here again it selects A2, and you know that A2 in the B2 cell we have a test coming, so obviously the serial number 1 will be written here. So this is how you can start. So it's all up to you. I have given you the both ways. If you want to print 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 for every sheet, then please use the serial number equals to 1, because once the condition actually finishes, the next time it goes to the next sheet, it has to be started, you know, from the beginning, and that is what we are trying to do. But just in case if you don't want to do that, if you want to keep on carry forwarding the serial numbers, which eventually I think can be a good reason, you know, I mean sometimes we do not want the serial numbers to be created that way, that from for every sheet, you know, it starts from 1. You want to go in a sequence, then I think you should not write the serial number equals to 1, right? So obviously now this code is run. Now there's no sheet left, so the code will stop, and there we go, guys. So you have your now this code, which is actually going to give you all the serial numbers. So in this way you can ensure that the things are looking cool, right? I know some of you may be wondering, because this question also coming in my mind, though there was not much explanation given by Jagannath here. Well, I see that every sheet has a data here. Okay, maybe that might be issue. For example, what if you don't have a data here? Maybe in some another sheet, what if you have a data here? Okay, because if you run now this code, it will not work, because we are comparing the data with the, if I just delete this, first of all let me just delete all the data. This is what I'm going to do, and let me delete this as well. Now you see, because we are running this loop based on the value of the b, then obviously where the b stops, the serial number will stop, irrespective of the fact that you have the data here and you would like to go ahead and create the obviously the numbers, right? Because if I run this code again, you see what will happen. I'll have all the numbers coming, but the moment I'm on 13, this loop will finish. Look at this. Then it will go to the next sheet, right? Again it will do the same thing. It will print all the numbers, then it will go in the next sheet, right? So now you know your data better than me. So you will have to pick up that column which you think that should have the maximum column always, and you can link that. Now there's another challenge. For example, you have a here data b coming like that, and suppose then what you do, you thought that you decided that column D has to be the column D which which should go actually in this comparison over here, active cell 0 and then comma 4 or whatever you want to do that. But who knows, maybe for another sheet the column D will also behave the same way. Maybe you don't have a data here, right? In that way I'm going to say. So this is what you need to first of all see, what exactly, which is the last row, right? Where how many times for every cell you will have to run this loop. So if that is the case, guys, then I can suggest you one thing. In that case, you don't use the do loop. Then what we can do is we can very quickly select all the sheets, and I'm gonna insert here a row. Okay. Once I insert the row, what I will do, I will simply go ahead and I'll write count A. Count A is to count all. So what I will do, every cell, I will select this. I will give the maximum range and I press enter, and this will tell me that basically what is the the number of the cells coming. You can see here I have got in 20, 20, 20, and just in case if I have some cells which are not coming here, for example, if I just delete this, you see that this answer will change, right? Then obviously what you can do is you can put the maximum number here, right? You can put the maximum number here, and then you can calculate the maximum number, which is 20, and then you can use the for next loop. So if I just ungroup this, what will happen, have your answer in the A1, which is going to give you the maximum number of. So you can see here I have 20, here I have 20, and in the sheet 4 I have only 16 because I have just the 16 data. So what you can do is where you have written this code, let me just copy this code and I just go to the insert and the module and I just paste it here. So let me remove this option explicit, and we're gonna just a name called 2. Now what you will do, instead of just a second, I just put the open bracket and close bracket. Don't put this condition. Instead of this condition, what you can do is you can write here for j equals to 1 2, or maybe you can write 2 to value which you have in the A1 cell. Okay, this is how you can write it, value. So what will happen when you will run this, then this loop will start from the 2, which is actually it should start with the 3. Maybe you can write here 3. So it will start with the 3, and then it will go to, just a second, if you ever while writing the VB you get this cursor like this, you can see that it's actually getting dark, it's taking a lot of width. The sign, the cursor is changed totally when I select something here, right? What you can do is you can press the insert key. So let me find it out, where is my insert key, and there we go. The moment I press, the cursor will be back, right? So if this thing bothers you a lot, then please do that. So we're gonna run this how many times? I'm gonna start from 3, and then from the 3 I will go to the row number 20. Perfect. And then this active cell actually which you have selected in the A2, this will be J, because we're gonna start with the J, and then I'm gonna use this J equals to J plus 1, right? and you don't need that, I think. So let us go ahead and let us delete this. All right, so this manual step you have already done, and I think it's not going to take more than even 10 or 15 seconds, because you can select all the sheets in one step. You can also, I mean, make the program for that, insert the blank row, and then do all that stuff. You can record the macro. I mean, there's no limit to these hurdles. It can come in a different way, but then we can always record the program. You can make the programs. I mean, you have your own thought process. I do not know. I think this is the best option for me. I can insert it, and I really don't like to create the macro for this, the first row. But if you want to do that, you can do that, right? So now we have the everything over here. Let's go ahead and let us run the code, and I'm just going to delete this data, and let us see if we can actually run this. So I delete this, and yeah, perfect. So let us go ahead and run this. There we go. Variable not defined. All right, so I think I forgot the variable, which is dim j as long, and j has to start with 3 because I'm on the row number 3. Perfect. So there we go. I think I again forgot the loop should not be a part of it, and this should be a next, right? And what else? We are pretty cool. Let us go ahead and now start. So the first sheet is already selected. I'm on the A2. I should be actually on the A3. It should not be A2. I'm just gonna put it back here. Rerun the code. I'm on the A3 now. For j equals to 3 to how many times we want to run? We want to run it 20. Perfect. Now what you want to do is you want to print the values one by one. So the active cell have a value called 3, which is coming from here. So active cell will have a 3. Okay, perfect. Now 3 is going to be incremented by 1, and I'm going to move one cell down. Perfect. Now the next time the loop runs, it is going to be 5. All right, so here we have some problem, guys. Yes, so you should not increment the j. Tell you the reason, because j equals to j plus 1 will going to increment the j by 1, but when it goes to the next, again you will have a one more increment. So basically you are incrementing the j value twice, which is absolutely bizarre. So you can't do that. So I just remove the backspace, and I'm gonna run it again. There we go. Once again, so you have the 3 here. Now I move to the next cell. You can see here I'm on this cell. Now new value will be printed, which is 4, and I'm gonna run this quickly. There we go. How many times we actually need to run this loop? I think we need to run this loop 20 times, right? Starting from 3. So this is what exactly. All right, so we are done with that. Let me reset the code and let me see that. All right, so it didn't actually work properly. The reason is because the j started from 3, and I think that is the problem. All right, so should have started it from 1. My mistake. Sorry about that. Is j should actually start from 1, because you want to put the value of the j as 1 here. So let us quickly go ahead and run the code again. Here we go. So again, yes, and one more thing, guys, you don't have to start the j from 3. You start it from 1, right? Okay, there we go. So I can see here 18, 19, 20, and that's it. Perfect. Let's go to the next sheet. In the next sheet, we again going to select A3. I'm already on the A3 though, and again the loop will run, and this time again you will have a 1 and then 2 and then 3, 4. So this keeps on printing the values like this. Here we go. You can see here that, oh wow, this is really awesome. Let me press F5. We are done with that, and let's have a look now. See that here it generated only 16, and that's what I wanted, right? And in the sheet 3 it generated 20. So if we start from 1, yes, actually it is also perfect. And here also we are stopping on the last row exactly, despite the fact that we have a blank cells here. And then in the sheet 2 also we have the same, right? So there are a number of the methods you can do that. And just in case if in this course you want to take this 20 to the 21, then what will you do? In that case, I believe you will have to use something else. Maybe you can use here jj, okay, because this j, whenever the loop runs, it will immediately starts from the 1, because for j equals to 1 means that every time it's going to be on the new sheet loop runs, j will start from 1. That is why you can't use that. So here you write jj, and then you have to increment that equals to jj plus 1, and here you will declare with the J, you declare here JJ also, which is going to be which will start with the 1, and then you have to declare that as well long, right? Now if you run the code here, let us run the code and let us see that. So we are on the sheet 1, and here we will have a first value which is going to be 1. Perfect. And then the JJ is going to be incremented, which is obviously going to be 2. So this code will work. Okay, won't see any changes. You can see here that the code is working pretty cool, and we will go to the next sheet. Now when you go to the next sheet, what happens, this JJ will, the next value which you will have in the next sheet here is going to be now 21, right? So if I just write here, you see that it is now 21. Perfect, right? Because now we are not using J in here, here active cell, in the active cell we are passing the different parameter, we are passing the different variable which has nothing to do with the loop, right? So in this way, if I just run this, you can see here that all the serial numbers are getting generated. Perfect. So I hope it's a very good exercise. We have done lot of stuff here. We have in fact I think made 4 different kind of loops, right? 2 loops we made using this do while, and this was very pretty tricky one, which we used how to forward the serial numbers, and just in case if you don't want to, you can remove that. And in this, use the for next loop, but again in the 2 different forms. One is every time it starts with the new sheet, it publishes 1, 2, 3, and if you don't want to do that, if you want to carry forward the serial numbers, then you can simply use this kind of variable, right? I hope this will get a lot of concepts in terms of the working with the loops, in terms of working with the collection loops. So thank you so much, Jagannath, for writing me in. Thank you for this good question, and I request you, all of you, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that, and have your comments pasted on the video, and anything you didn't understand, please let me know about it. We'll talk something more in the coming videos on VBA. Till then, you take care of yourself, and guys, have a very fantastic learning. Thank you so much for watching.